All right, back to one of our leading stories this afternoon, where the Minister of Electricity, Dr. Ruse has assured South Africans that lower stages of load shedding going into the weekend will occur. It follows the recovery of reserves that had broken down. Now, he was speaking in KwaZulu-Natal, where he was receiving 450 gasoline generators donated by China. So on this, we're going to be joined by video link by energy analyst Ruse Moleshe to unpack the energy crisis, as well as the donations of generators from China. Ruse, good afternoon, and thank you for your time with us here on the SABC at this hour.
Good afternoon to the viewers and to yourself. Thank you for having me.
At this point, let's look at the timing of this announcement. And just given the state of South Africa, the energy crisis, the promises are also ending load shedding. What are you observing on that front?
In terms of the promises of ending load shedding, we obviously still are a long way off, but we may have a reprieve because of the units that are getting back on stream. But in terms of system vulnerability, that's a long-term project to make sure that we are stable, we don't have load shedding. These generators that have been donated are going to be assisting in hospitals, schools, and as such, in order to intervene when there's a load shedding. So they will be used as emergency, really, because as you know, the operating costs of operating gasoline-based equipment involves, imports and the costs related to that will still be impacting on such schools, hospitals, and all of that. But the good thing is that they will assist when there's an emergency in a hospital.
Well, given the donation of the 450 gasoline generators, one has to also look at the terms and conditions of the memorandum of understanding and the short and long-term implications. What are you observing on that front, beyond looking at regulatory reform, strengthening bilateral cooperation? One is to perhaps also look at the knowledge transfers that need to occur, technology transfers as well. Help us understand that a little bit better.
Donations are typically not, unless they fall or within a framework of an implementation strategy by a government. They generally are given by a country, and the country typically wants their own people involved in supplying them and all of that. The conditions that come with that are not specifically clear for South Africa. But in my view, it's not a long-term strategy. It just seems like a short-term intervention of a donation for a short period of time, not a long-term strategic engagement with the country that is China to say, how do we resolve our load shedding issues on a sustainable basis? So it's not clear to me. It seems just a donation at a particular point. Normally, donors also would like to see over a period of time themselves being preferred from a procurement point of view because they've already donated. So we're not sure what the issues are.
Oh, these are valid points. Speaking to the practicality of the 450 gasoline generators, let's look at how this will be fueled. Any concerns on that front?
From a generator point of view, generally, yes, you have the capital costs of buying them, but the biggest cost tends to be on the supplying of fuel point of view, and it will depend who is responsible for maintaining that. If you have a school, for instance, that benefits from such generators, does the school have a budget to go with the supplying of fuel? And as you know, petroleum prices fluctuate quite a lot in South Africa. So it will depend which hospital is the budget available and for them to really be able to assist the identified beneficiaries.
Ruse, do any security concerns of theft at this point, even misuse coming to the fore?
In South Africa, you definitely have to take that into account. You know that during load shedding, we have issues with outages because people take advantage of those periods. We know that schools in certain areas become vandalized and people take whatever they want to take. So that has to be taken into consideration as well. It's quite an important consideration, particularly for for schools. I don't know, maybe for hospitals a little bit better. I don't know.
Let me wrap up this conversation. I just want to explore the issue of terms and conditions of the agreement between South Africa and China in relation to the technical assistance program. Really, what does it entail for those who've just tuned in? And from your vantage point, given the short, medium and long-term effects, what else should we be exploring given the energy crisis?
I think South Africa should have a proper strategy. How do we engage with partners such as China, who have the technical know-how, who have the equipment, one of the largest suppliers in the world? That is not just random in a donation point of view, but there's a long-term view in terms of where South Africa wants to be in terms of localization of the equipment, where South Africa wants to be in terms of participation of local companies in the whole program. I think for now, it's just being a little bit more random.
Ruse, thank you for your time with us on the SABC at this hour and for weighing in. Ruse Moleshe is an energy analyst unpacking the energy crisis in the country and the donations of generators from China, its implications and really where to from here as we navigate that issue plaguing the nation at large.